This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview is an excerpt from a recent program. To hear the entire program, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com.
This crowded booth behind me is the Atomos booth. And if you haven't heard of Atomos, you may have heard of the Samurai or Shogun or the Ninja, which are their digital recorders. I'm delighted to introduce Jeromy Young, who's the CEO of Atomos. Jeromy, step on in.
Cheers.
And tell us, what is Atomos?
So, Atomos, the word, I'll tell you that first, is the original Greek word for indivisible. Socrates, 5,500 years ago, and that's my business partner and I, Ian Overleys, who's our technical genius. We both love the customer and their products and what they need to do with products, and so we're just endeavoring to produce products that reduce your time, increase your profit or creativity, because most creative guys, when you show them that you got a bit more time left, they just do more to make it better. So I always say, no, you can spend more time with your family or have a beer or something, but no, they like to be more creative. So we're delivering tools that make that happen.
What was your first product?
Our first product was the Ninja 1. And what it was, Ninja is an assassin. You notice a theme in our products, the Samurai and Shogun. They're all warriors and assassins. And the Ninja was the assassin for MPEG and the cost of media. P2, S/S cards, all of those proprietary formats that Japanese companies forced customers to buy and made a lot of money off were the replacement for tape, where they made a lot of media profit. And we wanted to cut across that to show that you could record directly to an editing format at the camera and go straight into the post-production process. I worked for 10 years in Japan. Ian worked on mobile phone ASICs for many years, and then we both went to Blackmagic Design, helped grow that company, and then we broke out to make Atomos. And so we know the post-production side, and we had to learn the production side when we first made the Ninja. So the Ninja had just a screen, a half-decent screen for the time, and it was recording directly to Apple ProRes from the sensor of the camera. So we were like 10-bit 422 direct from sensor was our original message, and that has grown into adding lots of features for monitoring, because we realized the production guys actually cared about the monitor, whereas the post-production guys cared about what format they were recording. So we actually ended up marketing to two crowds. And that really made us strong, because we now understand focus peaking, 2-to-1 zoom, all of the things that you need to be a really amazing monitor. We partnered up with Sharp, LG, to make the best screens in the world for video. We adjust frame rates on video. We're not a Lego block company where we take IP from other people or chips from other people. Every single line of code, every piece of software is written by us. Every design of the product is done by us. So we believe in an all-encompassing solution, but without locking the customer in.
So you started with a Ninja, and then where did you go from there?
So Ninja led to Samurai, which is, so all the Ninja line is HDMI only, so we're really targeting that hobbyist, prosumer, up to pro video market, where the cameras were coming more and more with HDMI, and people making money from producing video to the masses. So it's weddings, it's corporate events, it's these type of customers were using HDMI cameras. Then we got a lot of requests for the SDI. Coming from the SDI world also, we obviously had that on our roadmap, and so then we spun the product into a slightly bigger screen. So that was a 4.3-inch screen on the Ninja, and then we spun it into a 5-inch screen, and then added SDI to it. But it was only an SDI product because we realized early that if you add HDMI and SDI, the cost goes up. So to keep the cost down for customers, most of the time you have an SDI camera. So that's what you're using. And then we led into converters, which then converted HDMI to SDI. It was the world's first battery-powered converter with continuous power system. All of our products have a continuous power patented system, which is one battery goes down, switches to the other side, and then you swap them out and charge the other one or have another one ready. And so we're well placed in the converter space to put that technology in. We still have our Connect converters, which are extremely popular, that they convert HDMI to SDI or vice versa. They have a battery on top that lasts 10 hours, so you don't need to plug it into the wall. So most of the time it's like, damn, I've got this SDI feed, but I've got a cheap HDMI Dell monitor that I want to use. So that was what that product was for. Plus it made the Samurai into a Ninja, and a Ninja into the Samurai, and we made a battery foot that clicked on the back, and it's a very small product. So it really hit a sweet spot in the converter market.
So where does Shogun fit in?
Right, so we then we realized that our screens weren't good enough. So we ended up going to mobile phone technology screens. They were custom screens for us, but they used those really high quality like Apple type of screens and the Samsung type of screens that everyone's used to looking at. It seemed a bit weird that you were paying a lot of money for pro product, but it didn't look as good as your iPhone. So we brought that technology into the professional era and made the Ninja Blade and the Samurai Blade. And the Blade is the razor sharp quality of the screen. That then led to what happens next. Well, 4K cameras started to come out. I lived and worked 10 years in Japan, worked very closely with Sony, Panasonic, Canon, Nikon at those times. So we have a very strong relationship with those guys. We've implemented HDMI start-stop trigger from the camera to us, and that's an open standard that we've let the world have. Even our competitors can use that because we believe in an open side. So there's the Sony and the Apple side, which is quite closed, and then they try to make money off that. Then there's the Microsoft theory where everything's open and everyone can use it. So we're trying to mix those two together. And where the Shogun comes in is the 4K pickup. I'd learned my trade in DV, and then we went HDV, and then there was HD coming into the equation. So I've seen these cycles before, and we knew that 4K would come very soon. So we teamed up with the Japanese makers, and we announced Shogun at NAB last year off the back of the A7S and GH4 products from the Japanese makers, which we had known about for 6 months or a year before. We knew that we couldn't produce that product. The development time was about a year. We announced the product saying we'd ship it in October. We ended up slipping a little bit to December because 4K is actually very, very difficult at these data rates. A little bit more difficult than we thought, but we ended up getting it over the line. And we've got our best screen on that product, which is a 1920-1200. We've got a nice bar down the bottom that lets all the menu structures be there. And we've added things like 3D LUTs, 4K down convert to link to infrastructure. We record to SSDs, and we've just announced the DNxHR, as well as obviously the ProRes 4K formats that we support. So we believe we're the best monitor in the world that just happens to record these amazingly high quality formats and plays back and is a deck and edits on the device. So that's where the Shogun is.
Well, you also announced some new stuff here at BVE. What did you announce?
So the DNxHR, first in the world to record to Avid, and Avid's making a bit of a comeback. You know, they've got a nice cloud-based solution which the higher-end guys are really looking forward to using, and they're about to release their Media Composer DNxHR supported software. They gave us the spec and we finished it pretty quick. So we're the first in the world to record this format. And it's at the camera from these amazing sensors of these 4K cameras, FS7, A7S, GH4, all the way up through SDI cameras and beyond. And we also announced a pretty comprehensive 3D LUT implementation to allow the higher end customers to use the LUTs that they either custom make or that they're from the camera, like S-Log, C-Log, etc. So you can view, when it comes into the monitor, it's all washed out. So we do a transformation on the screen, still recording the S-Log, etc., so that you can still do what you want with it after, but you can look at it, set up your shot for exposure and color accuracy like it's a Rec 709 monitor. So you're back in the world that you know, and you're not sitting there with a washed out image trying to guess what's going on.
There's a lot of digital recorders from a lot of manufacturers.
Yes.
And most of the companies that make digital recorders are all good, solid companies.
Absolutely.
Why should somebody buy one from you? What is it that makes your stuff unique?
All right, so there's two things I think I could go all day on that question, but the first thing I'd say is that we care extremely deeply about the actual production and what people do on a daily basis. We put everything in the box, and that's encompassed by us putting everything in the box that you need to get started. The only thing we don't put in is a hard disk and an HDMI cable or an SDI cable. You need to provide that yourself. But on the hard disk side, we have open hard disks that we standardize and test, and we say these are approved. You will have no problems using these, provided you use the Intel model number, the Samsung model number, the Toshiba model number, etc. SanDisk model. SanDisk is probably the best disk that we have in implementation right now, but we give you the drive caddy, the USB 3 to SATA drive caddy. We give you the cases to put the drives in. We give you the chargers, the batteries. We give you a waterproof case, and it's all encompassed in one price. So we're the most affordable and we're the most all-encompassing. Then we go into the functionality. We have put a deck, a monitor, a really high-end monitor. We've put a recording device, like a camera, but at 20 times the quality and about 30 times the data rate of what the cameras are capable of internally. We record directly from the sensor, and we continue to update our software on a weekly basis. As we're developing features or find a problem from a customer, we immediately fix it and release a new version. So it's very much like your iPhone. You know, it pops up and tells you, we have a new update, please link to your computer and update your... So we don't leave you behind. We don't charge for extra formats. We're doing FS RAW next month, which is our next update. So since the beginning of all of our products, we've done 57 updates to our operating system. It's called Atomos. We're now at Atomos 6.2. We went through 1.0, which was on the Ninja. 2.0 added metadata tagging from Apple. We do editing on the device to make sure that we're sitting right at the point of capture. Or once you finish the production, you can then go in a metadata tag, in and out points.
And Jeromy, where can somebody go on the web to learn more about the products you've got?
Atomos.com, it's right there. All of our information's on there. We've got a bunch of videos and all the products are listed there.
Jeromy, thank you. Jeromy Young is the CEO and the co-founder of Atomos. Jeromy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.